Hi everyone, this is Colonel Rob, and today we have another video from our series, The Leadership Toolkit, Foundations of Epic Leadership. In this series, we're sharing tools and strategies to help leaders like you improve your skills and run high-performing teams. Today we're going to tackle one of our most insidious enemies, emails. Emails, or just think about it as our inbox, because sometimes it's paper as well too, right? So just think of it as the inbox, the email inbox. So emails can feel like the ultimate productivity killer. What started off as a tool for communication that was supposed to help us has quickly become a relentless flood of messages, each demanding your time, attention, and decisions. It has now stopped becoming something that helps us and has become something which hinders us. So without a system to management, your inbox transforms into a source of constant stress and inefficiency. So this cycle leads to what can be described as kind of an email hell, a state where your inbox controls you instead of the other way around. So the solution isn't just about organizing your inbox. It's really a bigger thing. It's about regaining control of your time, focus, and energy. I developed the D-Day battle plan to break this cycle. It provides a clear, actionable system, gives you something easy to follow. It eliminates indecision and helps you process emails and regular paper with purpose and precision. So instead of drowning in a sea of messages and paperwork, you have a framework to master your inbox and to lead with clarity. So this is all based on one simple principle. Touch each piece of paper only once. Now, this increases both effectiveness and efficiency. Now, can we really do that? No, not all the time. But every time we can, we drastically cut down on how often we touch each email or piece of paper. And this can give us an hour or more a day of our precious time. Even if we're used to touching something 4 or 5 times and we get it down to twice, huge improvement. So this system is a mashup of multiple strategies, including Tim Ferriss's deal with it strategy, which we'll talk about a little bit later. It's called D-Day because you're going to take control of your day through a simple decision tree where all of the steps start with the letter D. So let's go ahead and take a look at the D-Day battle plan.
Okay, step 1, dump. All right, so for email, this is easy. Everything already goes in there to begin with. But you also get physical things like papers or reports. You need to have an inbox for them as well too, or a file or spot on your desk that is your inbox, and you just put everything there. Don't even look at it unless it's urgent. The reason you want to dump everything right away and not even deal with it at all is because you want to clear your immediate workspace and you want to keep your attention focused on what's important on your high priority tasks. And then twice a day, after completing your most important tasks, return to your inbox file to process everything systematically. You should schedule these times, and it should not be the first thing that you do every day. This ensures you stay proactive rather than reactive, and you control your time instead of letting your inbox control you. Now, reality check. When I tell people this, they go crazy. What? I'm only supposed to check my email 2 or 3 times a day? Yes. The first time when you start to do this, this will seem strange, but trust me, this works and will be one of the best things you ever do. So how are we going to do this? Well, you're going to train everybody, your boss included, and to let them know that if something is truly urgent, they need to call you or stop by your desk or hit the Slack channel or do whatever, because of the rest of the time you're focusing on doing the important stuff, which you actually get paid to do, right? Your boss wants you to be productive, right? That's the biggest problem with email, right? You're constantly back and forth. You never get anything important done. So what you do is you schedule that time that you're going to check your inbox, and that's the time that you do it. Now, the great thing about this is that often a situation will resolve itself before you even look at the email because they'll look to somebody else to deal with it right away. So it's great when you can simply delete something from the get-go. That's the best way to deal with it, right? Don't deal with it at all. After you do this for about a week, you will literally train everybody at work and at home to know that they should not expect you to immediately respond to their emails or their texts or anything else. It's really easy, right? People will know that if it's truly important, they need to come get you or they need to call you. Step 2 is to decide what to do with each email or piece of paper, right? At this stage, your decision tree branches into 3 options: deliberate, dispose, or do. So let's start off with the easy ones. Let's start off with the dispose, the things that we know that we don't need right away. So if you can, trash it. It's kind of important, but you don't really need it because somebody maybe just CCs you on something and maybe you should keep it around for some reason. Create a file in your inbox or in your email program where you just file those things away. So name it whatever you want, but essentially get it out of your inbox and get it out of your way. The real reason our inbox gets so filled is because of this next one here, where we're not sure what to do. We don't know if we need to do something with it. We don't know if it's important or not. Okay. And the way to get this out of your inbox is you create a separate file in your email that says someday maybe. And you just drop it in there so that you can think about it later. That just gets it out of your way and it gets it out of your inbox so it's not bothering you. And you're not looking at it every 10 minutes thinking about, do I really need to do this or not? If you've determined it's something that needs to be done, determine who's going to do it and when. Ideally, you're going to give it to somebody else. You're going to delegate it. You're going to put it on an action item list. Here's an example of a simple action item list where, so I'm Rob. So these are things that I need to do. So I can put things from my inbox that I don't need to do today. And for other things that I'm going to delegate to other people. So anything that you delegate, you're going to need to follow up on. So you assign it a due date, which project it belongs to, write down the task, priority, whatever you want to do. But the bottom line is when you put things on an action item list, you need to always assign a date, and then you need to put that date that you're going to follow up on the calendar. That's how you properly delegate anything. We'll do another video at some point on how to set one of these up yourself so that events will automatically turn certain colors when they're overdue or when they're due today, things like that. Then the last thing you'll want to do is you're going to want to take that email or that piece of paper and you're going to put it into a file called delegated, which is also part of your inbox system. I'll show you this at the end. Unfortunately, you can't delegate everything. So some things you're just going to have to do yourself. Here, we're going to think about it in terms of 3 ways. First of all, if it's going to take less than 5 minutes, do it now. This is one of the reasons that it's important to schedule this time. And we don't start off our day doing emails because we have literally marked off this time for us specifically to deal with all of these things. So if it takes less than 5 minutes, knock it out, do it now, get rid of it. Some tasks we're going to get are things that if we do it repeatedly, ideally what you want to do is to automate it. You want to automate the task. Now, this isn't something you're going to be able to do right now. This is something actually it's important but not urgent. When you automate it, it will save you a ton of time over the long run. So if you're going to automate it, what are you going to do? You're going to put it on your project list, which I just showed you, and you're going to put it on the calendar, and you're going to make sure that you start working towards automating it. Now, you may have to do it by hand now. Maybe it becomes a thing for you to do, and maybe it takes you an hour today. Put it on your calendar, take care of it today, but then schedule on your calendar how you're going to automate it and make sure that happens. This will save you more time than anything else. And then finally, there are some things that we can defer. We don't need to do everything today, but instead of leaving it in our inbox where hopefully we'll see it when it's time, what we'll do is we'll put it on our current projects list, like we just saw, right? The action items. But for us, there were places for you or me to do things as well too. Let's take a look at that again, right? Notice here, there's things for me to do as well. And because it's my list, it doesn't have to all be business stuff here, right? Here's something where I got to contact my insurance company, right? It's under other. It's not towards a project that goes to work. Okay. I don't need to do these things today, but they go on the list. And again, they not only get assigned a due date now, you put them on the calendar to make sure it gets done. We can also have another list, like a deferred action list. And the way that we can do that using the exact same list that we had is we just don't give it a date. Look at the bottom here, right? Here's some things that are going to need to get done eventually, but they don't need to get done now. It's deferred. We don't have time to do them now, but it stays on the list because we know it needs to get done. Better it stays on the list here than it stays in your inbox, because if you're looking at this every day, it will eventually get done. We're going to take whatever that email is. We're going to put it in another file in our inbox called Next Actions. And there might be things that get sent along with that. So I recommend that you have another file called Support Materials, and you just dump everything in there that somebody gives you for a project that you're going to work on later. And it goes in Support Materials. And when it comes time, you can access them all then. But you're going to get it out of your inbox now. All right, so let's take a look at my actual inbox. Normally, it wouldn't have these things in here, except that I needed to have a few things here to show you what's going on. And I want you to notice some of these things. This is what a lot of our email boxes look like, right? So it's December of 2024, and I have something here from 2019, 21, right? Some of these things go back months. Some of them go years because I don't know what to do with them. Remember those files I told you to set up earlier? Delegated, Next Actions. I have a separate one here if I need to print something so that I remember to do that later. The Someday Maybe file, the Support Materials. I also keep something called Completed Actions so that when they're done, they can go here if I really feel like I need to hold on to the email. So they're all right here. Now, they have numbers next to them because in some systems you can't put a dot, but you want these to be at the top of your email. You want them to be at the top of your folder so it's easy to drag them in right away. You don't want to be looking for these. And go ahead and color code them as you need to. Obviously, the Next Actions folder is, of course, the most important one. So in this case, I've made it red. So I'm just going to go through the same thing and show you what I do with these. So this is for a dental appointment. I need to go and schedule a dental appointment with these folks. It needs to happen. So instead of keeping it here, what am I going to do? I'm going to drop it in my Next Actions, put it on the calendar. I'm going to put it on my to-do list that I need to call them and I need to make the appointment. I'm going to give myself a date and then it's going to get done. This is for the emergency battery that I keep in case the car goes down. You're supposed to recharge it every time. So instead of letting it sit here in my inbox, which it means I probably haven't recharged this since 2021, I'm going to put it in my Next Actions folder. And again, when I go through that thing, I'm going to put it on my to-do list. I'm going to give it a date, and then I'm going to put that date on the calendar. What about this? This is some stuff that my wife sent me that I look through sometimes, and I'm not sure what to do with it. So instead of keeping it here, it's going to go in the Someday Maybe file. Same thing, right? If it's been here for more than 3 years, it's a Someday Maybe because I haven't already dealt with it. It's been here since 2019. It might be a good thing to do someday, but it's not going to happen today. So it goes in the Someday Maybe file. And when you have an empty email box like this, it just gets rid of any stress that you might have. And it makes it so much easier to deal with the things that come in. Now, doesn't mean that I don't have to go back and check the things that are in this, right? But this is a much simpler thing to do now. They all need to get scheduled. And as that happens, I then move them into the completed file, or you can move them into a temp file as well too, if you want to make sure that you don't get rid of it until it absolutely gets done. Now let's talk about staying to the right of the double yellow line. That's what we want to do when we're driving, right? The reason I have this here is that I built in something that Timothy Ferriss uses to get rid of his things. He wrote it in his first book, The 4-Hour Workweek. He likes to talk about how he likes to deal with things, okay? And what he means by deal with them is to delegate, eliminate, automate so you can liberate your time. So if you notice the way this is set up, everything to the right of the yellow line is part of his deal. It's delegate, eliminate, automate. And so this is primarily what you want to do. We don't want to think about it. We don't want to do it if we don't have to. We primarily want to deal with things. And so that's why each of these are set to the right of the yellow line so that you know that that's what you want to prioritize. You want to delegate, eliminate, automate. That's what the yellow line there is for. And thanks to Timothy Ferris for a nice way for us to think about how we should deal with all of the stuff that comes across our desk. Again, his is based on the same idea. Touch each piece of paper once.
Pretty easy, right? With this system, you're no longer going to dread your inbox. Instead, you'll approach it with confidence and clarity, knowing that every email or piece of paper has a place and a purpose. And the best part, we're giving it away for free because we want you to succeed. All you have to do is click the link below to download it. As always, if you found this video helpful, please be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the other tools and strategies we're sharing in the Leadership Toolkit, Foundations of Epic Leadership. Now, we're also sharing weekly leadership tips you can use right now on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn pages. Follow us there for quick, actionable advice while we're putting together the next video. We'd also love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments how this works for you. If you have suggestions on how we can make it better, let us know that too. We're always looking for ways to improve. Finally, if you're looking for more actionable leadership tips and tools, stick around. We've got more videos coming your way that will help you take control and take your leadership skills to the next level. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.